Are live. Hello, my name is Chris, and what's this? This is basically indie showcase. I've started calling it. I have a show called Comic Tropes that has a reasonable enough subscriber base that sometimes people want to send in their comics, and I thought the least I could do if somebody's going to all the trouble of making a bunch of comics, the least I could do is just sort of do the occasional unboxing show and share that with the world. So we have a great amount. I think there's 12 packages here, 12 packages, and there's nothing fancy about this. There's no script. There's no plan. I don't know really already what's in there. I'm going to just give my honest reactions, and after this live stream ends, I'll go back into the description and be sure to add links to all of the creators as long as they've included something that I can find. Looks like we've got some folks in the live chat to react to this stuff that's going to be showed, and that'll be fun. I appreciate you guys are being here. Let's get it on. Sorry, I just realized you have to actually be able to see what I'm opening, don't you? So there we go. We've got, you know what? What if I did this? I think that'll be, yeah, that'll be better. A little bit of artificial light on my face, but it's more important that we highlight the comics that people have taken the time to make. So I'm going to intentionally open them all face down so that I'm not accidentally doxing anybody that went to the trouble of making a comic and sending it in. But I can say that this one looks like it came from somewhere in Pennsylvania, from a company that's calling themselves 819 Comix. So let me get it open and we'll see what we've got going on here. Thanks, folks that are jumping into the chat. Love having you all here. And sincere thank you to the folks that made these. Just having trouble opening this particular one. I guess I chose the wrong one to open first, but that's okay. If there's a letter or anything, I'm going to sort of quietly read that to myself just to make sure that I'm not sharing anything that isn't meant to be shared with the world. But let's see. We've got a comic here. And is there any sort of a letter or a note? No, nope, doesn't seem to be. That's okay. Just double checking. And let's open it up. It looks like it's called Zira by Nathan Pinsoneault. Yeah, I think I said that right. Pinsoneault and Stacie Pinsoneault. Oh, those names sound familiar, actually. I think that they may have jumped into one of my live streams where I let people plug their Kickstarters or things like that. Let's take a close look at Zira here. So we've got a super nice, colorful cover. It's apparently issue 2, $6. Well, it is full color. That's so that's pretty fair for an indie comic. There's definitely a Jack Kirby vibe going on with this sort of cosmic stuff. Like, at least that's what I get. But then again, you know, I think that Jack Kirby is a popular refrain. What if I did it like this? I'm trying to see if there's a better picture out. I don't know if what's the best layout here. No. It's a lot of me. I don't know. I was just testing the different oh, that's pretty good for now. Yeah, let me do that. All right. So let's take a look at this. Plot, script, arts, and lettering by Nathan. Inks by Colin Richards. Colors by Stacie. And we get a few stories in this. Let's see. Where's this printed? It's printed through Blambot is where they got their fonts. I'm just curious, like when people... Oh, that's a nice little pinup on the back. That's nice art. Rygor's Ghosts. Well, the nice thing about this is it does look like, because they're telling individual short stories, that I can jump in even if it's issue 2. The colors and the paper quality are both really, really good. I love cosmic stuff, so that could be fun. Isn't it interesting that Jack Kirby invented Kirby Crackle, and it just sort of became accepted as a way to draw cosmic energy fields? Like he really invented a drawing shortcut. It's pretty amazing. Good character designs. I like the character design as well. This is strong. And here's a second story. Yeah, Killer Cloud in Outer Space. Killer Cloud in Outer Space. Stuttered that one out. That's pretty good, folks. Congratulations. It's no easy thing. That's a really cool double splash page. It's a big accomplishment. That's a big accomplishment. That's beautiful. The creators of 819 Comixxx, Nathan and Stacie, and they worked with Colin Richards as inker. So let's take a close look at what kind of inking techniques Colin used here. He's got some hatching here, little stippling to give this some alien texture, a little bit of a dark Kirby squiggle for highlighting the metallic structure, and a type of Kirby crackle in the background. Just a lot of parallel lines for the hair as compared to building them in strands. It's not bad. It's interesting. Looks like fun. Looks like fun. Thank you very much to 819 Comixxx for sending this out. Oh, I just realized, look, that's a nice metallic signature by Nathan and Stacie. That's really nice. That's very kind of them. Wow. It's always fun to read comics, isn't it? And to get comics for free, it's pretty nice. Little bit of a privileged position for me. I'll be sure to put a link to 819 Comixxx in the description once I wrap up the show. But that's a really nice way to kick things off. Can't be cheap to produce something like this. Well done, folks. Very well done. Killer Cloud is killer. The pinup on the... Oh, this is Nathan. Thank you. Thank you for jumping in. Let's see. The pinup on the back... Oh, I already put it in the... is by Brian Middleton. Very nice. Oh, yeah. God Hand by Joe Casey with Tom Scioli on art. Yeah. Absolutely. It is printed through a company called Kness. Okay. I'm just always curious about some of the details on self-published and small press type books. So that's really cool. Thank you very much for sharing, Nathan. I hope you can leverage this to introduce some new readers to the book that you and your wife and friend are creating. Very, very impressive. I like it. Zira. Well, I'll be sure to read that. Let me put that over here, and we're going to move on because I have a bunch of comics to get through. But that was a nice surprise that the actual creator of the book was in the chat room with us. Thank you, Nathan. That's very much appreciated, and I wish you every success, sincerely. Yeah, I agree, Shane. It is a nice looking book. This one looks like it comes to me from Delaware. Whoa. Oh, look at that. I think that I also talked to James on a live stream. Probably the same live stream that I talked to Nathan on. So that this is also a pretty book. This is a very different type of comic. Let's bust it out. Wayne D says, I wish I could draw in ink like that. Yeah. Oh. This is, I guess this does make a certain amount of sense that if I'm opening stuff from people that watch, then they might be in the chat room. So I guess that does make sense. I wasn't expecting it, but James, lovely to have you here as well. Let's highlight your book as well. Oh, so this is sort of a different. It's not gloss. It's not gloss. It feels like maybe if you were holding a Bristol page, like there's a little bit of a tooth to it, which feels kind of nice. It feels it feels different than a regular comic. Beautiful art on the cover. I mean, those are the colors fit the art style in a really pleasing way. I look at this and I instantly feel nostalgic for where I grew up, which was a seaside town. But also, this is reminiscent, I think, of some of the Greek coastline. And growing up, my parents had lived in Greece for 2 years, so I was always seeing the sort of white uh, 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 homes on the Greek hillsides. So anyway, it just reminds me. Oh, a nice little note to me from James, and with a little sketch. Thanks for the kind words and everything you do for the comics community. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. I love what James has done here. I don't know how well it shows up, but he's used whiteout to highlight the edges, and that really makes it pop. Well, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous book. Oh, I love that. It's just a notch bigger than manga size, but it's a little smaller than, a standard comic book size. It feels like it fits in the palm of your hand. Let's see. I actually used Greek Isles as references for my towns. Okay, I'm glad I was able to pick up on that. That's really impressive. I love that you've used primarily one color for some of these scenes. It gives it a mood. I love when people think through every aspect of the comic, and it looks like you've definitely utilized color as one of those, and primary color at that. That's definitely powerful. In a way that you're not always sensing. So it's like red outdoors, yellow indoors, blue at nighttime. Beautiful. There's a little bit of the character design that reminds me of Zelda Wind Waker, I want to call it. I'm at least close to that. This is really pretty. Did you letter it as well, James? The lettering is really solid, just to be clear. It's yeah, this is exceptionally good lettering. And I'm not comparing anything to anything else. I just like it. Yeah, it's really, really good. Very, very uniform tails, good placement, and just the occasional moving around of letters to. It's not going to focus very well. Like just like to imply that they're yelling. This looks like a really special. This looks like a really special book. Island Lost. Well, I'll be sure to go back and put a link for this as well. But we've got it here. We've got an Instagram, James_W_Greatorex, Greatorex. So that's fun. I really look forward to browsing through that. That's thank you. That's really nice. I love the support like that everybody has for all these comics that we're looking at. So 2 very different comics to kick things off. Sci-fi adventure and more of like a family-based. What would you call that? Like an Odyssey. A travel epic. But 2 very different books, but 2 things that I like very much. So. That's awesome. This is an exciting way to start things off. And hello to my sister Jean, who happens to be in the chat room. The background here is just a commission I'm working on, but there's no significance. It's just that I only have so much space on this desk. That's all it is. All right, what's this next one? This one's coming from Buffalo, New York, from a small publisher called Solstice, who I'm pretty sure has sent in stuff to me before. It sounds familiar. Let me tear into this package. I'm really impressed, by the way, with all the packaging everyone's been doing. Travel epic, but Odyssey is a real sort of genre. The Odyssey. It's all about, the idea of an Odyssey, and this may not be your story, is like, the character goes on the classic hero's journey of basically going as far as possible, at least metaphorically, from their home, learning stuff along the way, becoming changed, and then sort of coming back with that gift that they've achieved somehow, the a bit of transformation and the knowledge that they've learned. It's pretty amazing. Oh wow, this is a beautiful presentation. Look at this. I have received stuff from Solstice before. He does the comic book about this cat called Tuff Stuff. This is wow, folks. Look at this. They have made the presentation box reminiscent of a Nintendo 64 cartridge. I mean, the attention to detail here, even in like the font and the colors, it really is cool. And a description on the back. The year is 1999. It has been nearly 4 years since Tuff Stuff perished in the Battle of Soldia, sacrificing himself to obtain the kill shot on Revar Suarez, therefore fending off the Dead Angels cartel and exposing the corrupt incumbent, Mayor Peggy Cumberland. Enough Stuff. The niece of Tuff Stuff has inherited this world. Okay. What a presentation. What a presentation. I take it this might be a letter. Nope, this is packing. This is some of the nicest. Oh my goodness. It's been a while since I've seen a metallic cover in comics. I've been seeing more gimmick covers, but this. Oh my goodness. The cost of like all this special presentation. I have no idea. So this is clearly reminiscent of issue 50 of Wolverine by Larry Hama and Mark Silvestri. But now it's Tuff Stuff's claws ripping through the cover. That is really impressive. I am really wowed by the presentation of this. So this is the Toughening parts 1 and 2. Yeah, that's so cool. Let's see. I'm just trying to get to the credits. Kevin, that's right, Kevin Delgado. And I think he has recently picked up a publisher for this other than himself. I want to say that he's done something along those lines. I'd have to double check who that is, but this is really cool. The artwork reminds me of certain indie artists like, I don't know, maybe Joe Matt or who else sort of draws in this sort of exaggerated style. I'm trying to think like that's not exactly who I'm thinking of. Some of the shading in terms of the blacks reminds me just a little bit of like Charles Burns. But this is like just over the top satire. This looks like it's definitely nailing Amazon to the wall. A little reference to Dark Knight Returns. So there he is. Look at that. Tuff Stuff is going to take down Gorgon, aka Amazon. That's a good idea for a satirization of what's going on. Joe Janofsky. I've seen his work online too. That's awesome. I can tell that Joe is going for a little bit of a, what do you call that? Like Jeff Darrow, but also a little bit a reminiscent of Tony Moore's cover for Walking Dead #1. But oh yeah, Hairbald. I had to read that for a minute. Hairbald. So I was right the first time. Yes, definitely. Oh my God, these are some fantastic jokes. Have you ever seen the original Archie cover that this is? It looks just like that, and it's just like, you know, Archie carrying away Veronica, and she's like, "Did you have any trouble rescuing me?" And he says, "I sure did. I had to beat off 3 other guys to save you," which has eyes wide butt. In this marriage, something doesn't smell right. Oh, I'm simple. You may have heard a kitty. Yeah, I was thinking a little bit of Robert Crumb. I know. The there's a lot of craft going on here. You're right. Beyond just the story itself, we are this is like a meta commentary on comics themselves by giving us these covers. Wait, there's something in, oh no, it just is the binding. It felt like there was like a poster or something in the middle. But this is fun action, and again, going after Gorgon, which is definitely Amazon. That's fun and funny. I look forward to exploring this stuff. And then they've got like some pinup art in the back, which I always appreciate when comics do that. Look at that. Somebody actually felted something. Alexis Gonzalez, art and sculpture. Oh, art and sculpture. But it looks like they definitely use some felting techniques on top of whatever structure. That's different. I like that. A good riff on the classic meme. Delgado. Tough Stuff will return in the Tough Stuff Prison Special. And they're thanking a bunch of Kickstarter backers here. So, yeah, Tough Stuff. But again, look at the box that it came in. Unlike anything else that I've read in terms of presentation, that's for darn sure. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. I'm going to use this stuff to, again, protect the comics against any damage. Thank you, everybody, for taking such care to mail your stuff in. Everybody has done that very, very well. I just realized that I put Island Lost here without putting it in its plastic sleeve. So that was Kevin Delgado that did Tough Stuff through Solstice Art, just to be clear. Solstice Art. Yes, that is good. All right, we've got more. Oh, this one's international. Hold on, where did this come from? The UK. Shrewsbury, UK. Wow. We're going international. We're going international. Let me open this up, and then I'll switch the view back for us. I have to be my own producer for the switching of camera shots. And we're doing it live. We'll do it live. Those are 3 amazing comics in a row. Dare we go 4 for 4. All right, this one definitely looks new to me. And there's a letter. Let me read that. And I'll put this out here. Oh, hold on. No, I have talked to the publisher of this. I want to mention something about one of these. Let me switch the view again. Dracula the Return. Look at the last name there. Dacre Stoker. Yes, the grandson of Bram Stoker, the writer of Dracula, is doing a Dracula book. This is from Shane, the publisher of Scratch Comics. Oh, he's just got a very nice letter that I will keep to myself, but that is beautiful. Shane was a really kind person to talk to. Hi, cats. Do you need anything? I'm trying to do a show where I talk about comics, not about... Thank you. Oh, and Shane is here as well? Watch out for the adult content. Okay, so I'll take a quick look to see what I can share. So that's a beautiful cover, but you've seen that. And then we can look at Hedrick and Claudia Christian's Dark Legacies. Sorry about the reflection of the light. Let me just get them out of the bag. I think you guys should be able to see it. Hi, kitty. Are you trying to have fun? Better not. Well, there we go. That's there's some artwork that would look definitely at place if it was in, say, like a Hellboy or BPRD book, right? There's a little bit that's reminiscent of either Mignola or Guy Davis to a degree. Yeah, that's badass. That's so cool. Great colors. Yeah, there's a few things that I probably just shouldn't show on camera, but it's totally my speed. This looks really cool. Dracula, Wargaming and Bram Stoker's Gothic masterpiece. Oh, it's like a game version of this stuff. That looks so cool. All right, let's see what else we've got, though. There's a couple comics here. Hedrick, Knight of the Mummers. Mummers are what sort of like traveling actors or something? Didn't like Shakespeare, weren't Shakespearean actors called mummers? I could be wrong on that one. Hedrick has some adult stuff too. Okay, let's take a look. Written by Lawrence Allison, drawn by David Hitchcock, based on an original idea by Lawrence Allison, co-created by Allison and Hitchcock. Oh wow! But I like this art actually. Black and white book. Plenty of detail, plenty of shading. That's different for comics, you know. But this, you know, what that reminds me of is back in the day when Ninja Turtles were new. Laird and Eastman quickly got so busy that they let a lot of their friends take over, and some of them would definitely work in styles with actual shading like this. I think black and white can look way too empty if it doesn't have some shading. Most manga has quite a bit of shading. A lot of times that will be, some of it will be like, you know, in the drawing itself, but some of it will just be like, you know, they're using like various screen tones to like give different depths of color. And this one, it looks like it's all done almost all in the pencil stage, but I like it. There's a grayscale to it, and it makes it look a little more deep and dense. This is actually really good artwork. There's a tiny bit of Guy Davis in the more plant-based creations. That's some nice storytelling, isn't it? That really is. It's giving the biggest panel to the biggest moment. Nice change up of angles and a nice bit of background so that you like never lose the spatial awareness of where a story is taking. That helps a lot. Boy, there's a lot to like about this. Yeah. I'm being careful with like which pages I'm showing and stuff, but that's nice. I feel like this cover could use just a little bit more somehow to pop. But I like this stuff. I like this stuff in the background a lot. That is creepy. And this guy's an interesting character. I just need some sort of like more dynamic angle on him or something. But I'm just being nitpicky. It's very good. I really respect the storytelling in this. Wow. Yeah, this one might be more my speed even than the Dracula one, which I knew I was excited for. Yes. Apparently, Claudia Christian from Babylon 5 has a comic that she's got something to do with. So we'll take a look at that in just a second. I'm just going to try to put this back in the bag so that I don't lose track of everything. I'm looking forward to checking that out. Scratch Comics definitely seems to be publishing some of the horror stuff that I know I like. I wonder, Shane, like, what's your distribution like here in America right now? Is this are these comics or Scratch Comics in something like Diamond or Lunar or Penguin Random House or something? If my local shop was interested in books like these, or should they just order it like direct from the Scratch Comics site? Just curious, because I think that there's a pretty good market for some of this horror stuff, but this is more sci-fi, I'm gonna guess. Okay, an ad for the two that we just read. I like that. That's a really dynamic shot. I like that. Claudia Christian's Dark Legacies. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Wow, a signed photo from Claudia Christian. Wow. Oh, this is really nice artwork. Let's see who did this. It's Staz Johnson. Okay, folks, I am totally in the bag for Staz Johnson artwork. A sincere favorite of mine. He has a book out in stores that just came out this week, Rocketeer. I think Dark Horse published it. But we're here to talk about this. Created and written by Claudia Christian and Chris McCauley. Artwork by Staz Johnson. Staz Johnson has drawn, plenty of stuff for Marvel and DC, but in British comics, something that might be a little close to this, he's done a bunch of Rogue Trooper. It's a 2000 AD thing, and that's over the top. But Staz is a pro, top to bottom. Okay, this is nice to hear. So, folks, Shane says that all of this stuff, like if you were interested in any of this, your store could order it. Just to be clear, this is stuff your store can order from the Diamond catalog. But Staz is, I can't say enough nice things about him. He shows like process photos on his social media. He just posts good news, and he's really kind with his feedback and comments and stuff like that. Look at this character. There's no way that Staz wasn't basing this in part on Sean Connery in, what is it, Outland? There's a sci-fi movie, or Outworld. I think it's Outland. I'm pretty sure that's it. That totally is based on him. Wow. And the main character is clearly something Claudia Christian could play if this was adapted into film or TV or something like that. This looks fantastic. This is, wow. That was amazing. Like, I started, IDW does Rocketeer, excuse me. I started with this because I'm like, okay, Dracula. We all know Dracula, and it has like, this lineage of, an actual relative of Bram Stoker working on it. And then the books kept actually getting more and more my speed, like, because I was like, oh, Hedrick actually seems to be like more the story that I would be into. And then I opened this, and I'm a massive fan of Staz Johnson as an artist. So that was just kind of fun to get pleasantly surprised as I went deeper and deeper into this pile. Wow. This is making you rethink how you want to publish your graphic novel. Well, we're in an era where we're spoiled for options, in my opinion. Where there's so many things that we can do with crowdfunding, with our own self-publishing efforts, and lots of different publishers that may be a good fit depending on the project. So we're in an era where there are less barriers to entry than there were 10 years ago versus 20 years ago versus 30 years ago, etc. Lot less barriers to entry. Moving on, this has been really great. This has been one of the best of these that I've had. Something from Pennsylvania, kind of little. Little sounds dismissive. Chisai Manga wa chisai desu. Comic is little. All right, here we go. A little letter to me. Incrediman, comics and stories. I love humor stuff. All right. This is from a creator named Jared. Let me see if he puts his full name on the comic, because I don't want to give away more than I should. 3 of these. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Wow. So Jared may well go to something like the Eddie P. Comic-Con in August, because that would be in his back door, and is definitely an indie showcase. Eden, is that my Eden? Is that my friend Eden from DC? Or just double checking. Don't want to assume. Let's see. I feel like we're in an indie self-publishing boom, like the black and white boom of the 80s. Yeah, Eden, so lovely to see you. Folks, this is good timing. Eden, for many, many years, was one of the organizers of the Small Press Expo in the Baltimore area, and is still on the committee that runs the Harvey Awards, really prestigious awards, and definitely a big focus on that stuff in indie and small press. So Eden probably knows more about this stuff than I do, to be honest, just to be clear. Very, 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 very well educated, huge amount of passion on her end. Lovely to see you. It's been too long. That's so nice. Well, this is fun. So, okay, so we've got maybe a, I was about to say sci-fi, but it's a superhero satire. My name is Incrediman, and this is my story. I'll just say, you know, your love of an art style is gonna is going to be in the eye of the beholder, right? Okay. Well, you've done it for more than a decade, so you know you've earned your bona fides, Eden. Let me know if you get back into that, because I'm always happy to just plug that. I'll just say this: that is a hilarious splash page intro for your main character. That's good pacing. You've got, like, you know, a shot of Earth, and we're getting closer, and something is falling to Earth. And then it's revealed that it's the hero, and that is a really awkward position. But that is great pacing. You want something memorable when you introduce your character, no matter what the genre is, okay? Whether you're telling an action story, a horror story, it doesn't matter. Your main character, you only get one shot to introduce them for the first time. So when you show them, that should be big. That should be something that says something about that character. There's a lot of pressure to get that right. Fred Hembeck vibes, says JSA. I could see a little bit of that. Yeah, that's true. I could see a little bit of that. A lot of the cartooning that I've seen in more Sunday comic strips, but this is really good. The very expressive characters, very expressive. Look at this. We've got more of a dialogue scene, and you know, the artist has very carefully broken that down into a standard grid style to keep that, like, there's a pacing there. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. And then there's, like, you know, more open border panels for what is clearly sort of a montage of the hero showing off his abilities. So that's clever. I can see that this person has some real storytelling chops. And at first, this might seem like a very open line art style, but I'm seeing stuff, like, right away that tells me this person knows how to tell a story clearly and expressively. And I'll just go back again, like, you know, that's a really strong splash page to introduce your main character. Wow. I like the cartoony look, and I wish we saw more of it these days. I love cartoony stuff. You know, comics, like, you know, I don't know. I'll just grab something that's nearby. You know, this is like a standard superhero stuff, right? But to me, this is cartooning. This is cartooning, and I call it that all the time. People think cartooning is just this, but it's not. It's all cartooning. Okay. Well, this looks like a lot of fun. Definitely an underdog superhero. An underdog superhero. That is a great splash. Oh my God. Again, this storytelling, we pull way back to show just how big the explosion is. But that's funnier. That's funnier than, like, you know, seeing a character, like, getting hit with an explosion or something like that. That's violent. But from a distance, it just becomes abstract and beautiful. And, like, look at, like, the contrast in how realistically all of the architecture is illustrated versus how simple the characters are. That's really impressive. Steve, thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate you're very supportive of the show, and I hope you know that I appreciate it. Oh yeah, I could see a little bit of Foxtrot in this. Yes, because I was thinking Sunday strips, but a specific one. I don't have the time to be objective. It's also just cool that this is in full color. $5. Is there a name of a? Okay, so yeah, he does put his name. Jared Catherine, I think is how he. No, Catherine. He said it was like tangerine. So Jared Catherine. I don't see a website or a social yet. That's the thing that I was sort of like peeking around for. I'll give it some research when I finish. But the book is called Incrediman Comics and Stories. There's at least 3 of them. This is very impressive. This is really cool. I love the size. This looks like a fun read. Sometimes it feels like work to get through a comic, and you're like, that's not for me. It should never really be work. It might require you to pay attention and put some real thought into it. Oh, okay, hold on. Here's finally like a piece of social media. On Instagram, at Jared Catherine. GaredCatherine. So there we go. There we go. Nice. Yeah. They are kind of small. There's my hand. Okay. Yeah. The tick is hilarious. So yeah, this is also satirizing some superhero stuff. I like that. Pretty cool. Well, so far, everything I've opened, I would sincerely be comfortable recommending to readers, because I haven't seen anything that I go like, you got some work to do. No, this is really good. All right, this one comes from Florida, but we won't hold that against them. I got jokes. Whoop. And I might take a quick sip of my Diet Mountain Dew here, so that my energy level for all of you is where it needs to be. We got a what is that called? A gem mailer, I think. It's reinforced. These are like specifically to mail comics. They're really nice. Yeah, I'm gonna take a quick sip. Thank you, alcoholic alligators. I appreciate it. Don't do this to make money per se, but just sort of give back a little to the art community and share people's stuff. If folks are new and they're like, I've got a comic that I want to get out there, I have the P.O. box in the description here. If you want to send it there, perfect. And every once in a while now, I'm also doing live streams, so that if you've instead got something more like a campaign, or you sell your comic on, a website or something like that, I do like the occasional live stream where I let anybody who wants to jump in and talk that up and promote that, because I do want to try to give back a little. I get a lot of requests of like, will you review my comic on Comic Tropes? I even if I wanted to review every comic that I saw that way, it's unrealistic. I'd never get anything done. You got me to read Initial D after putting off 4 years. Initial D is really fun. Like, that's the latest manga that I've gotten really into. Favorite car? I'm not a huge car guy. I do like the Nissan GTR Skyline quite a bit, though. All right, here we go. We got some comics from a guy named Dan. These actually look familiar art style wise. Let me. Yes, please do. I would be happy to take a look. Oh, Brian LCS. Well, Brian runs the Comic Book Community Awards. I'm saying that right, Brian? Comic Book Community Awards. And if you look those up, there you can basically nominate channels in a variety of categories, and it's to acknowledge what they've done in comics for the community and stuff like that. You know, for a lot of attention for smaller and emerging channels or niche channels, and it covers everything. You know, some of it is comic book CBC awards, yeah, comic book community awards. Really cool, and they get like a little trophy. It's nice. So if you've got a channel that you like, you can nominate it there. Don't feel obligated to nominate Comic Tropes or Pros and Cons. That's not what I'm saying this for. I'm just saying it's a really lovely gift back to folks that make this stuff. So yeah. Oh, Jared, lovely to. You will be at the Eddie P Comic Con next month. That's great to hear. That's really great to hear. I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing, and I hope you have a great time. I think that's a fantastic venue. I mean, it's basically right in your backyard, but that is a fantastic venue, and I hope that some people take notice of what you've created. Good luck. The CBC awards sound great. I'll look those up. Yes, they're very, very nice. Very, very nice. So we're all about positivity here, I guess. All right. What do we got here? We've got Sundays in Space. So what's that art remind me of? It reminds me of Keith Giffen. That's what it reminds me of. Do you guys know, Keith Giffen is often remembered as a writer for stuff like, Justice League International. But he also drew a bunch of comics. Lobo he drew. He also wrote a bunch, but he did draw some, and he created Trencher for Image Comics. I mean, I am jumping back to something like 93 or 94. I'm excited to pop these open, everybody. But that's just a quick thing that I get, even in the title. I mean, this looks a lot like the title, Trencher, the style. So let's see. This is issue 2 of 4, and nicely done here, Dan. You've got like not just the credits in nice big bold letters, but he's got everybody's social media beside it. Smart. And the website, sundays-in-space.com. Sundays in space with dashes in between the phrase, .com. The story so far, thank you. Oh, I'm impressed with that grayscale coloring. Who did the coloring here? Giovanna Plata. And Dan wrote and drew this story. Doggy Tricks. Oh my goodness. This is in your face. This has got some street art vibes as well, and I totally respect that. This is big and bold. Like, your lines are so thick. That's brave, man. Very, very expressive. I know I've used that word tonight, but it's accurate. This is really nice. Good lettering too. Who did the lettering? Did it say? Didn't say. I'll just assume that Dan did them, since like the only other person mentioned is Giovanna on the colors. You get some of that too? Okay. A graffiti style. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like, cause you gotta be yourself. You got to differentiate from other people. And I think you got that going on. Oh, that's a really cool panel. Giovanna, the colorist, did this. That's really cool. A kick to the head. This is great. Oh, I like this one. It's still got that style, but it's got like a little bit more space around the characters. Like this one was very busy. The panels have a lot going on in the background, and totally respect for giving us backgrounds and background detail and stuff. But I have to admit, sometimes it's nice to have just a little bit of negative space here and there for some breathing room. It helps emphasize here and there the character work. And these are some great posing, some great gesture stuff. Look at that. Oh, it's closed. That's really good. I lettered it, and graffiti is definitely an inspiration. Yes, who was that character? I know who you're talking about. Busy, but with a clear and readable. Yeah, yeah. It's a good blend. It really is. Yep. The sound effects strong. They're not like overtaking the action. They're just there to enhance. Got a nice little pin up here. I've said I love it when people can, because look, every page is valuable in comics, especially on small press and self-published, because there's less economy of scale. You know, like if Marvel or DC is publishing a book, it's at least, you know, a 5-figure run. You know, they're not, but you know, when everybody else is doing it, it may even be in the hundreds, not even in the thousands. So every page adds to the cost quite a bit. And if you can like eat a little of that cost to let somebody else that might be up and coming do a pinup, well, you've given that person a leg up as much as, you know, you've invested in them a bit, and then it's up to them to, you know, make their own career happen. But if they do, they should be thankful to you for giving them that that opportunity. It's a big deal to even like a pinup or a page. It's always a big deal. It always is. Oh, that's a really fun one. I like that. Scott Gerard Rule. That's very fun. This is great. Sundays in Space. Uncle Jerk. Roman is also a comic book YouTuber. He does very deep dives in his subjects, like multi-part episodes talking about it. And it's less about, you know, sort of tight editing with like a million different, what do you call it? Images and stuff like that. And more about, you know, the listening to it, and there's going to be a story that's told, a really big story about, you know, some creators like Sam Keith is definitely an inspiration, I think, for his artwork. He's done some on Jack Kirby. I really respect what he does because it is different than what a lot of other YouTubers do. He really dives in. And then I only like learned this like somewhat recently. He's a hell of an artist. He's a hell of an artist. You're only seeing a hint at what he's capable of here, but he's really good, actually. He's really good. Mushmouth, that's right. Ba-boo, Fat Albert. I shouldn't do an impression, probably, but I was trying to remember the style of speaking. Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good pinup, too. That's great. Sundays in Space. I think that title makes. I think that title makes sense. That's like reminiscent of like a Sunday is a day off. It makes it sound like you're going to get something that's a little different there, and then like in space. Wow, no question. Look at how much detail there is, even though it's cartoony. There's some artists that can do that. Not every artist that draws in sort of an open, clean, stylized way of drawing. Yes, his YouTube is called Uncle Jerk Evan C. That's who I was just talking about. But not every artist that can draw like that can also draw in a lot of detail. You know, one that can is Sergio Aragones. Huge fan. Obviously, this doesn't look stylistically the same, but is doing some of the same stuff. You know, we've got like real clean, open artwork on like the character design, but then tons of detail for like the environments and stuff that's going on. And, you know, like no skimping on the backgrounds, right? There's no cheats. Like this is all silhouette. So a lot of work going into this book. A lot of work. Great choices for pinup artists. Different styles, but you know, a lot of potential there. That's really cool. Oh, that's a good one too. You've got a good eye for talent, Dan. You've got a really good eye for talent. Your friends that are drawing this stuff, or your acquaintances, etc. Very good. That was a treat. I really like that. Let's see here. I've got more. How many more? There's quite a bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. You know what? Let me get this big one because I have no idea what this could be. I even wonder, you know, is it Comixxx? I guess like it's probably Comixxx. This one comes from California. California. You're welcome. Shall I sing to you? I better keep moving because I've only got so much battery life in the camera that looks at the comics. So I got to keep going. I've got somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of battery life per stream. But yeah, means I got to keep moving. This is a big one, so it's really taped up. Give me a moment here. Anyone that's had their comic, you know, shown on this, I hope you know you're welcome to share the link or take a clip and use it as you see fit. Like, I'm not going to claim anything like that. You know, feel free to do whatever you want to do with it. Oh! Okay, this isn't somebody else's comic. This is... Holy shit. This is to promote me and a show that I do on this channel with my friend Jim Mafood. Hold on. This is something. This is something. I had no idea there was something like this. I will explain, but this is something. Okay, and fortunately, good. There is a comic by this amazing artist as well. Okay, folks. Okay, so I do something on this channel called Trash Movie Bonanza with my friend Jim Mafood and me, and we review movies. So Punker Mike, if you look it up on Instagram, there is Punker Mike. Punker Mike makes props and toys and stuff like that. And he made these old-fashioned VHS things with an actual videotape. This video cassette will melt if left in the sun, the car or the sun. And it says like episode 1, the running time, the movies that we review. There's some stickers in here to promote his stuff. Video Punk's membership card. And like I said, oh, on YouTube too, Punker Mike. Oh, you can't see that super well, can you? Okay, so YouTube is Punker Mike. Instagram is Punker_Mike. Very talented artist that does like stop motion videos with his toys and props. Read more comics. Punker Mike. Oh my God. He's so talented. And this is one of the most flattering things that I've ever had done for me. And then on the back, it's got like our YouTube thumbnail and a little description of what the show is. And I did not know that I was getting anything like this. This is so funny. Like this looks like it belongs on an old-fashioned video shelf. I don't think that the actual episodes are on these. I don't know if I even have a VCR anymore. Oh, cool. They're in some different colors too. Let's double check then. Let's double check. And then I'll talk about his magazine here because I definitely want to give him a plug. That one's black. This one was white. Night of the Comet and Life Force. That one's black. But look, I mean, there's so much attention to detail here. There's so much attention to detail. I got to go to a, what do you call it? Like a Goodwill and see if I can find a VCR at a good price. So here's his zine. Toy Rotten Zine. Toy Art and Plastic Alchemy by Punker Mike. I hope that I am exciting you about this guy's talent. You know, there's this do-it-yourself vibe. He makes custom figures and takes toy photography. Like, look at this. A custom Kaneda from Akira. I'm distracted. My homage to Toy Fair magazine. Yup. This is just really nice toy photography, as well as really cool, interesting figures. You can own a sick-ass Punker Mike custom figure. All you have to do is whip out old Mr. Snippety Snip and cut this bad boy out. Oh my goodness. Mike, I am so flattered that you would send this stuff to me. Oh, you guys know I love Slam Dunk. I talk about, like, that's one of my all-time favorite manga. I'm not even a big basketball fan, but this is one of my favorite manga of all time. And he made some action shots of that. This is really just so cool. But like, he makes all these miniature sort of props and stuff too, so that he can make, you know, these scenes. Really cool. He modified a Marvel Legends thing, and he talks through what he's done. Like I say, he's got Punker Mike for YouTube and Punker_Mike for Instagram. Let's just take a quick look at the second one too. My sister says she does still have a VCR. Night of the Comet is so good, Eden. I am so glad Jim introduced me to it. But so plug to myself, on this channel, there is Trash Movie Bonanza, where we break these movies down, and that is one of them. We broke down Night of the Comet and Life Force. Like, the theme was comet movies. Very, very good. All right, let's see what... Yup. Oh my God, look at that. Deltron Zero, the Automator. Bronan, the Narbarian. I love Donnie Darko. That is so cool. We've got sort of a Danzig type guy that I think represents Punker Mike himself in some of his videos. Pizza Face, a custom Ninja Turtles guy. Wow. Action figure prop shop, and he's talking about like some of the tools for making, like, for instance, in this case, a super tiny magazine, like how to do it. That's really fun. A nice little comic strip with action figures. Rodzilla. Shane, you still have Life Force on VHS? It's good. Wow. I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. But thank you so much, Mike, if you get to see like this. I hope you know that... sorry, I was trying to do it like this. This is a real treat. This is something I will sort of like reorganize this shelf here so that when I record, I can have some of these being displayed. That would be... This is just really, really cool. I mean, I love all these comics, but this is like, you know, something for me, and I didn't expect it, and it's a lovely surprise. I think he's incredibly talented, incredibly so. That's so cool. All right, so temporarily, so that I don't forget, I'm gonna put these up here, and then I'll be able to adjust those closer at some point. Wow. Didn't expect that. What else have we got? There's more. This one is coming from Virginia. I used to live there. I'm pretty sure Jim already got a set. I did not know that I was getting a set too. I'm pretty sure Jim already got a set. And because he got a set, I thought that meant there was only one. So I think he made more than one set, which is so Just very kind, very kind. Thank you for letting me sort of talk up and plug myself for a minute there. All right, this looks cool. Gonna put up that. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Yes, I have definitely seen this, I think online. I believe I talked to him, but there's a letter here as well. Bear with me one moment. I just want to see what the letter says. So I can use some of this, even though it's to me, I can sort of summarize a little bit of this to explain what this comic is. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, was a radio serial that ran from 1949 to 1962. Known as the man with the action-packed expense account, Johnny Dollar was a freelance insurance investigator. So Allan is the creator of this, and he sorry, I lost my place. He used to listen to those shows. They were in the public domain and they were on NPR, and he liked it. So he listens to them sometimes on his phone while he's traveling, because he is also he travels the world dealing with ransomware and cyber security attacks. And so he's sort of updated the character to be, instead of just investigating insurance fraud type issues, he's investigating cyber crimes. So that's a good idea. Yeah, Allan Liska is the story. Mark Oliver with Sean Decker on art, and a creative team here. So yeah, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is in the public domain. Although, just to be clear, this specific version would definitely be Allan's, or Allan and his creators, depending on how they agreed to things. Good vibe. I like crime and investigation stories, so this story might be up my alley. We'll see. I wish that the art just varied up the shots a little bit more from sort of like middle distance looking at the characters, but that's okay. It's still readable. I wouldn't say anything about this is confusing, so that is a plus. That's a net plus. The story is probably the part that I'm most excited to check out. Oh, and this was done on Kickstarter, so there's a big thank you for a bunch of Kickstarter backers. It says stay up to date at johnnydollar.io. johnnydollar.io. Johnny Dollar, the cyber insurance investigator. So he took something that he loved and then added something that he knew and came up with like a new remixed idea. That's a great idea for how to create a comic. You got to write about something you know about, otherwise it's going to come off as inauthentic. Bear with me, I almost got a sticker stuck on the comic. Oh my god. Let's see. Used to listen to it on XM radio. Totally shilled for insurance companies. Doesn't mean it was bad, yeah. Let's see. Dick Tracy meets Dawson's Creek. Dawson's Creek? How? Explain the Dawson's Creek part to me. I'm missing the reference, I think. But it is definitely got a Dick Tracy type vibe. Yeah, okay. Well, it's consistent, and I can tell that there's a lot of investigating, from pulling up forensic evidence to interrogating people, gathering clues, expense account item. That's kind of funny. There's a recurring thing of him expensing out stuff. A little bit of action. A little bit of adventure. Meeting some different people. Traveling worldwide, that's for sure. Wow. Kudos for creating something that you're so passionate about. That's just awesome. That's awesome, Allan. America's fabulous freelance cyber insurance investigator. I kind of like this art style even more than what I see inside. It's the same artist, but I kind of like this colored pencil style because it's a little different than what I typically get to see. I'd like to see a little bit more of that instead of like just the sort of super clean black lines with flat colors filled in. Like there's some real personality in it, and to this. I don't know. I like the covers. I have to admit, I like the covers quite a bit. It did. You're right, and I always respect that. By the way, I just gotta say, like, you see how much the issue number pops up? They should add just a little bit more of that to maybe like the stroke or something on the title. Like I can see the title just fine. It's not a complaint. It's just that there's that issue number thing really pops. Oh yeah, I do see some of that. Like this does remind me a little of Kevin Eastman. You're right. Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird stuff. The covers are cool. A little bit Mad Magazine. Yeah. Kudos, Allan. Really impressive to have created this. And obviously you've got already a nice little support system because you've successfully funded at least 3 issues with Kickstarter. That's no small thing. That's humongous. Very impressive. And hopefully this can put it out to even more people. I think, creating like more than just one issue is also something that's more likely to get a new reader because they're like, okay, there's enough support for it to keep going. There's enough ideas that it isn't just like one and done. I think, to move forward, like the more you are able to put out, it inspires a level of confidence that you can get things done and that you've got something that you really want to say. So, the fact that this isn't just one issue right now, that it's already at least 3, that says to me passion. It's my favorite aspect of going to small press conventions and Artist Alley at any convention is that anybody there has not only completed something, but they've invested in themselves by getting like table space, by printing, by probably paying collaborators. I think that like shows a lot of passion. A commitment to yourself says passion, and passion can, for me, carry things past any hiccups that a book might have. I don't need perfection. Even in, like the most expensive book, like if I pulled out something like the latest X-Men, I thought it was fine. I didn't have any big complaints about it, but I only thought it was fine, right? So like I could pick on this in certain ways, and I have higher expectations when there's so much money involved. But if somebody is self-publishing, it's like, what it reminds me of? When I got into classic Doctor Who, some of that classic Doctor Who stuff is pretty low budget. They did not have the same level of special effects that a lot of American shows did. But the writers kept telling big stories, and they were just like, okay, sometimes the aliens are going to look a little goofy, or the space stations are going to look a little wobbly. If you want to enjoy it, you've sort of got to invest a little bit on your end as the viewer and get past that and just focus on the story. And so I'm willing to do that with people. Now, every once in a while, you also get something that's like, somebody's really passionate about, but they also have like, just a massive talent on every level. And those are the comics that, are the best of the best. But I'm just saying, anything somebody's passionate about, there's a good chance I'll enjoy it on some level. There's a really good chance that I'm going to be able to enjoy what you created, because if you're passionate about it, like I might be, I'll get it. I'll get it. So I love going through Artist Alley and stuff like that. And books like this, 3 issues of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. I mean, Allan isn't creating this because he's like, oh, everybody knows this public domain character. You know what I mean? It isn't like, in a few years when everybody's going to have a Mickey Mouse or a Popeye or a Superman book. Like, we're getting to the point where that stuff's all going to get in the public domain. No, this guy's doing it because he's got a story that he was excited about. And I love that. I love that. Just so cool that comics allow the individual to potentially make something with such a small team and just get your idea across. I love that. I am also someone, if I'm at a craft fair and someone is selling a comic, I'm buying it. Exactly. You're like, okay, you're not just doing this, here and there for fun. You completed something. You made something, and you're passionate enough about it to go out there and sell it. Oh, Allan, you're here. Congratulations, man. Really, really cool. Really, really cool. All right, so this is a littler one. Let me see. This one's from California. I don't know if I said that. California. In the city. Oh, this might speak to me just going off the cover. Let me add this. G.I. Beau. Well, I'm a big G.I. Joe fan, so this might be satire that I like. If you love liberty, you need G.I. Beau. Emerson Murray. Chris, hope you enjoy. Love your YouTube channels. Thank you, Emerson. My goodness. All right, let's see what we've got here. Roll call. Fire pole. His specialty, lasers and poisons. Follower. He does tracking and trapping and darts. Miracle. Master of the Miracle Box 6000 rifle. Lizard legs. Melee. Ninja. Snapshot. Hand-to-hand. Explosives. Vanpool. He's dumb, but he's loyal. I will die young. Leadhead. Oh my goodness. G.I. Beau, origin of lizard legs. Yup, this speaks to me. Yo, Beau. Yup, this is good. This is good. I am Boss Bug, and these are a few of my agents. Blistro Jr., Dr. Arias, Dr. Goblins, Bug Bite. This is cool. I like G.I. Joe, and so this speaks to me. Oh, good. We've got fake ads, Eulogy, Girl Water, All Jungle Comics, That Tower, Last Page Comics. Oh, and this is clever. Emerson has got a QR code there so that you could scan this for more stuff. And his Instagram is Emerson__Murray. And he says, yes, that's 2 underscores. Or emersonmurray.com. Good job on promoting yourself there. Just remember, only quitters quit. I guess so. And guessing so is about 7/8 of the war. Yo, Beau. All right. Kudos, Emerson. Short and sweet, but that's a good satire without being like a 1-for-1. Like, instead of Duke, he's called Puke. Instead of I don't even know what Baroness, we've got Sharon Hex. Oh man. Yes, a real American hero. It's funny to me. Yo, Beau. And then the dumb guy is just going, Beau. I can't wait. I can't wait to take my time and enjoy it. Man, these cigarettes sure are refreshing. Oh, crap on a cone. Fire pole and leadhead. And they're actually smoking. You boys look awfully cool with those cigarettes. And looking cool is one of the most important things. Well done. Well done. All right, what else do we got? We got three more, right? 1, 2, 3. Yes. This is technically also international. This comes from Canada. Oh, Canada. You are so Canadian. You're full of Molson beer and maple syrup. I love maple syrup. Do, 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 do. All right. I changed the song a little bit because I do satire and jokes. What do we got here? Sex, drugs, and comics. My name is Ben. I'm an artist from Canada. Here's a book I finished recently. Figured I'd send it your way. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. Let's see. The Day Demeth talking about Clive Barker's independent comics. Yeah, that was a line through Marvel, but it wasn't Epic. Epic was like something bigger. What was his name? Because I think that he also through that line was the Wachowskis who did The Matrix. I think that they first did some comics through his line. Razor line. Thank you, Steve Vendetta. All right. First of all, very thick, like almost cardboard cover. Just a few colors, but it definitely gives me the vibes of 70s underground comics. Yeah, this feels like underground comics, even though it's made today. And then we jump right into black and white. Oh man, yeah, lots of different techniques on display here. Beyond the line art, there is grayscaling. There's also stippling going on here that might be a type of screen tone or duo shade. I can't quite tell yet. I have to look a little closer. But yeah, we've got really surreal, cartoony people that it's not quite. I mean, that's definitely reminiscent of the famous Keep on Trucking by Robert Crumb, but there's something else on top of this. Who's it reminding me of? There's definitely some crazy underground comic stuff that this is reminding me of it's not coming to me right away. But this looks funny. It's just like people like doing drugs and like losing their minds, seeing the devil. That's actually a really pretty panel. I like that. I like that a lot. It's not super friendly for showing online, but that it's okay for me. Who does this remind me of? I mean, there's a tiny bit of Matt Groening in here, but that's not the artist I'm thinking of. I guess there's a lot of influences. I mean, in some of like the really exaggerated stuff, I almost get like, like Rat Fink vibe. But there's other stuff in here and it's just not coming to me. Oh my God. That's so gross, but so relatable. I mean, you've been to a club or a bar to hear a band and seen like a bathroom like this. You just have. It's exaggerated, but you know exactly what it is. This is great. This is really well done. Oh, and again, like all sorts of cool fake ads on the back. That's really cool. I appreciate that. Why be fat? Don't be skinny. Sick of it all? Try death. Fast acting, long lasting. That's so dark. But I like dark comics. Yeah, definitely some Zap Comics vibes. Yeah, a little bit of Life in Hell. There's a lot of underground stuff here. Maybe a little bit of something like Milk and Cheese. A little bit of Evan Dorkin in there. A little bit of Milk and Cheese. I love it, this kind of stuff. I tried to go buy this, but it was so sold out. Oh, really? Well, I'm going straight to eBay. I'm gonna sell it and retire. No, this is really, really impressive. I like this kind of humor, and I like this kind of vibe. A lot of work done on this, by the way. Like, look at that. Look at how much detail. I was talking earlier about certain artists like Sergio Aragones that don't skimp on the background details or anything like that. That's very, very well laid out. There's some really good decisions going on here. I like it. Yeah, this is just going by all sorts of ads, and the ads are like what you'd see more on a computer, like pop-up type stuff, and it's but they're ads walking through the town, and then it's just sort of a maze of nothing but all sorts of crazy psychotic stuff, from cemeteries to bathrooms to bodegas, alleyways. Wow. Sex, Drugs, and Comics by Ben. Is there a website for this? Is there a website? It's the only thing I'm wondering about. So I want to... Not really seeing a website. I mean, you've got the title here. I'll have to look it up to put it in the description later. I'm not sure. The detail is wild. It is quite a bit. All of these indie comics give me such a big boost of motivation in finishing my comic. Oh, that's what I ideally hope for. I really hope it does inspire some folks to go like, hey, they did it, or that doesn't look like, everything else that I've seen. So, oh, hold on. There's a business card in here. It might have a website, so I want to pull that up. That might help me know where to get more of this stuff. Throw this in the sleeve, and yes, there is a website. Okay, I'll put that there. Hold on. Sorry. Wow. I'm gonna add it like this. Okay, so on Instagram it's Ben_Boley, Boley. And then there is again, like a really nice QR code to scan, but I don't think I can get that close enough for. And also a website, boley.ca. So I'll be sure to add that to the description. Let's try to wrap this up. We've got something from Kansas. Good old Kansas. Comixxx Wellspring, a division of Greco Printing. Oh yeah, I've heard of Comixxx Wellspring for printing comics. Let's see if we got anything that we love in here. Thank you. Yes, that was the main goal of sneezing there. But yeah, I really hope that if you're out there and you've been thinking of making a comic, please, please, please go for it. Got so little to lose is what I meant to say. But I know that that's easy to say. Trust me, because I've got comics that I've wanted to make, and I keep putting them off because, you got to pay the bills. So I do get that. Daniel, Psychonautics. I think that Daniel may have sent some stuff in to us before. Let's take a close look at this. A little letter here. Thank you. Thank you very much, Daniel. All right. There are 3 books here. Psychonaut presents #1. This collects the first 4 issues of my comic series that first appeared in 100% Comics and Wizard. Okay, yeah, I've definitely heard of Daniel then. Wizard is by the guys from the cartoonist kayfabe ringside seats group, a bunch of cool guys. Let's see. We've got the Simon Myth Chronicles, preluded in Psychonauts Presents. This is the first issue of my series featuring a modern-day Gnostic wizard who broke the world. And there are other issues of that out. And then there's Vision Tales number 0. We've got a fantastic parody or homage, whatever you want to call it, to George Perez's great Infinity Gauntlet number 1 cover. This is a collaboration with my childhood friend and writer Aaron Conaway, an endeavor we call the New Vision Comics Collective. Issue 0 introduces our superhero universe we built when we were teens in the early 90s. Great. Let's take a look at some of these. Vision Tales, now in signed. Thank you. Written by Aaron Conaway, illustrated by Daniel Moeller. So this is going to introduce their superheroes. Oh, okay. Here we go. I think it's them talking about their heroes initially is like that. That's our intro to it. Cliffhanger. That's funny. Good for you. We've got websites for them. DanielMoellerWeb.com and AaronConaway.com. And photos and a behind-the-scenes story of them. That's fun. That's really cool. Let's take a look real quick at the Simon Myth Chronicles, a Gnostic wizard that breaks the world. This came out in 2022. Okay, we've got black and white. We've got sort of some nice scratchy line art, but some very distinct characters. I'll say that. Like, neither of these guys look like each other. That's good character work. Oh, okay, yeah, we've got some weird supernatural stuff going on. All right. You know what this reminds me a little of? Like, more in terms of, like, the ideas behind it is something like Mage by Matt Wagner. Early Mage stuff. Like, just like just an indie story about, like, a guy with some, like, sort of supernatural abilities, learning about a bigger world. Yeah, each of these characters looks very different. There's some really crazy stuff going on. Reminds me of the kind of like flawed detective protagonist that you could get with something like Constantine, but obviously a little nerdier. Yeah. Let's see. Can anyone recommend a witchcraft I can do to actually focus on my next project? I believe they do have drugs for things like that. Yes. Psychonaut Comics. Oh, cool. A map. I love stuff like that helps me understand the world a little better. I love little additions like that. So not everybody likes it when Jonathan Hickman in his books has these sort of flow charts and infographics, but I personally really like that stuff. I feel like it's extra and it just sort of helps me understand the world a little better. All right, so those are 2 little one-shot things, and then we've got this big beefy boy here. Let's see. Getting swallowed by serpents in the 10 dimensions, getting disemboweled by a shape-shifting puma, all for the sake of mind expansion. Okay. Yo, keep it psycho. Thank you for that. That's so nice. I love it when it's personalized. It really makes me feel flattered. Oh, wow, that's so different seeing his artwork in color versus like a second ago seeing it in black and white. I don't know yet what I prefer. It's just a surprise. But going into surreal ideas and what word am I even searching for here? Like visions and surreal ideas and stuff like that. That's always a challenge to represent. I look at this and it definitely is a little bit reminiscent of nightmares and just sort of dream logic. And I do like that. I do like that a lot. Oh, see, that's like some creepy stuff. You got to pay it off here and there. No question. Changing up the art style here and there, depending on where they are. That person getting zapped, like in that pose, that that has to be a bit of an homage to Zap Comics #1. Has to be. Has to be. Oh, look at that. We've got like a dream journal, and then it becomes black and white. How clever. How clever. All right. So there we go. Now we've got an explorer, a psychonaut. A psychonaut is an explorer of the inner space, the infinite vistas of consciousness. Know thyself, as the old esoteric saying goes. It's the key to enlightenment, understanding, and zany adventures. I like that you added something fun there. Hey, you're doing something different. I don't always think like this. Like, I can enjoy these kind of things, but I feel like my thinking patterns for storytelling tends to be very grounded in structure and story arc and stuff like that, and that I don't tend to engage enough, like dream logic. I love thinking about my dreams and like what they sort of mean, but I don't write that way. I don't think that way, and I respect that you're thinking this way. I like things like well, I'll just say David Lynch films. You know, they operate off of a dream logic, and I love that stuff. Oh, I like Tony McMillan's art. That's a really cool pinup. Tony McMillan does Attaboy. That's a really cool book. That's so nice that you've given a bunch of pages to some of your artist friends to explore. That's a different one. That's really impressive. Tony Farrow, sure. These are great. These are great. That's so nice that we get all this extra stuff. Eli Schwab. Eli's great. He does. He just got his publisher, Cosmic Lion, into Diamond distribution. So look at that. Psychonaut Comics. Very impressive, Daniel. Very impressive. Yeah. Yeah, I think I do too, ultimately. I do too. And I just respect that somebody's like telling a story that's very different than what I think I'm capable of. I just don't feel like my mind works in that direction, even though I kind of wish it did. All right. One more, folks. One more. And then I'm going to get back to working on Comic Tropes, working on another episode of that. Got my deadlines to hit. All right. We got a couple of these gem mailers. Takes another minute or two to open, but it keeps the comic in fantastic condition. Very unlikely to get any damage. All right. And we've been going just a notch over an hour and a half, so I think that's a pretty darn good amount of time. Yo, House of Blood. Okay, well, I like the title. Let's see. Been watching Comic Tropes for years. Oh, that's just a really nice letter to me that I was just reading. Bear with me. House of Blood and Spellslinger by Zach Chapman. Zach is the guy that sent these. All right, let's bust them open. Take a look. Yeah, I agree, Shane. There's so much different stuff. You're right. Sorry, Tim Handley corrects me. I was saying gem. It's Gemini mailers. Gemini mailers. Sorry about that. Well, I appreciate that you're here. Oh, again, signed to me. That's so nice. That's so kind. All right, let's take a look at what this art is. Oh, wow. Well, that's really good artwork. No question about that. That's very impressive. I may have seen this artist on something else. Who drew this? Who drew this? Because this art looks kind of familiar. Did he do something at like a Hoy? Oh, it's Rafa Labasco. Rafa Labasco is currently drawing James Bond 007 at what do you call it, at Dynamite. Oh, this is good too. Okay. Zach jumped into one of my live streams and talked about the comics, and we looked at some of this online. That's why it looks a little familiar to me. A lot of different art styles, because this is a horror anthology, but boy, you can't tell me that all of these artists are top notch. Look at that. Oh, I love that. I love when people like can use line art and then just have it fade off into like fogginess. That's not easy, but I love that some of these techniques. There's there's just a great blend on this one of precision and sort of roughness, and I like that blend quite a bit. There's another different art style, but this is good too. Oh my God, Zach, you have some great taste in artists. Congratulations, folks. Tell me like that this doesn't look just great all around. I'm not trying to spoil anything by like, flipping through. I was just trying to get a sense of some of the different art styles. That's good too, even though it's cartoony. Look at how dark it is. That's great. Oh, that's lovely. That's really nice looking. Oh, eerie. Somebody's neck breaking. That's so creepy. House of Blood. Great artists. I'm sure the stories benefited. Oh, that's cool. Sort of an old-fashioned 1950s sci-fi type thing, but mixed with alien horror. A lot of different styles to this. That's really impressive. I'm working with Rafa too on a new book, Top Artist. He's really good. And I think people are starting to notice him, but I think he's going to get noticed a lot. How much of the mail today was from people currently in the chat? Probably like 30% or something. It's pretty good. I love it too. Yeah. House of Blood. House of Blood. Wow. That's really cool looking. So let's take a look at Spellslinger. Just see what's similar and what's different. But this is also a big beefy boy. A big old beefy boy. So this is artist Ben Turdick. Haven't heard of Ben before. Okay, I think I get a little bit of a sense of what's going on here. Oh, that's not bad. You know what? Coloring on this is benefiting it. I'm not saying that everything about the coloring is perfect or anything, but I'm saying it's benefiting the art. Yeah. It's making certain parts of it pop in a good way and using some nice, good, subdued, cool colors when necessary and some warm colors in other areas. There's some good color theory going on here. Another thing that I feel like I'm kind of weak at is color theory. Coloring itself I can do, but color theory I think I'm bad at. All right, so yeah, we've got a supernatural western, a great blend of genres, no question. That's disturbingly creepy. It's I feel like this is I'm having a hard time saying what I would compare this to art-wise. I really don't. Nothing's quite coming to me, but I don't dislike it. I'll say that, and I do like. I think that there's something about the Old West that can lend itself to horror very easily. Maybe it's because it was still a frontier. People were spread out. There weren't as many easily accessible resources. So I think sometimes you can get some really good horror, even with like, DC, like, Jonah Hex could have some really good horror. There's a good horror. So who am I thinking of? It's more recent. I can't think of it. Yes, I agree, folks. The cover is strong. Like that's a classic pose, but it's well executed, isn't it? And the color really helps it. Like, I mean, that's just so much red. Fire, blood, I don't know. I backed the Kickstarter. Oh, well, that's really nice. Shane, like, thank you so much for sending me some of your comics today. I'm trying to figure out where to buy House of Blood. I see the Kickstarter. Will it be available anywhere else? Great question. Let's see. it does have a website back here that says houseofbloodcomic.com. Sorry. So maybe I'll put the links that I can find that are active in the description once I end this. But there's a lot of good artists in this one. But I like supernatural stuff going on in the Old West. I do. But House of Blood, I kind of like that you can get in and out with so many different stories and have a lot of different great art styles. Kudos for like the first 5 or 6 are especially strong. It really brings you in. Let's see what this one was, because I like this artist style too. I like that one a lot. Okay, so that one, I'm just going to take a quick look. Corpse pose. Illustration. Man House. MAAN House. It's really good. All right. I think that we've had a very successful evening looking at comics. I don't know. This is incredible. I will definitely put the links for everything below. If, screenshots or linking to this or just clipping it yourself and putting it in your own media helps, please go nuts. Like, take whatever you want, because the whole purpose of doing something like this is just to give people some promotion and, show these comics to new eyeballs. It's never easy when you aren't like one of the big 2 or something to put your stuff out there. I get that. And hopefully this helps folks a little bit. But I'm very impressed. I can't wait to read a whole host of these. This is I'm in a privileged position. Thank you everybody for sending me in books. Like, that means a lot to me. It's a real treat. I don't always have time to just sort of do individual reviews of every single thing that I read. I just don't. But I really do appreciate getting to see what people are creating and sharing it, at least like this. And hopefully that reaches some new people. I love doing this stuff, Shanes. Thanks for being here. Oh, okay. From Uruguay. That's really nice to hear. We did do it. Great job, everyone. Yeah. Kudos. I mean, I don't know what else to say right now that I'm not repeating myself. I'll wrap it up by just saying, everybody that had a book that we just looked at should be so proud of themselves. No matter what aspect you were doing. Like, that is a tremendous accomplishment. And it puts you ahead of so many other people that don't get things done. But if you've got something in the works or something that you think you're passionate about, I hope that seeing this wide variety of styles and ideas, and even like the actual like physical design of the book itself, I hope it shows you that there probably is an audience for your idea. If you're passionate enough to get it done, I feel very confident that there is an audience for it. I can't promise you that like everything you create will make you rich, but if you get some pleasure out of making it, that's the first hurdle. Is do it, understand that it's work, but get some pleasure out of it, like getting something done, and then you'll get an additional reward as you find other people that read your story and appreciate it, because that will happen. If you feel like you have mental blocks that are slowing you down, I will also say this. Not quite every month, Tim. I tend to wait until I've got about at least 10 things in the PO box. So that can sometimes that's been 2 months. Sometimes it's been, 4 months. It sort of depends. It just sort of depends. I just want to have a few at once to do instead of just like a comic. It's like a 10-minute stream and then I'm done. So I just sort of wait till I've got about 10. But what I was going to say is sometimes we have creative blocks. Here's one thing I can tell you, just because at this point, like, my age has let me have the smallest measure of objectivity about myself. You'll sit down ready to work, and all of a sudden your brain will think of a better idea or something else that you really want to do. It would really. That is a normal instinct. And what you need to do is acknowledge that your brain is thinking that, and then ignore that and just do the work. And be graceful to yourself, understanding that whatever you put down may not be perfect initially, but you'll get a big chunk of your idea down. And then you may have to revise it, whether you're drawing, coloring, lettering, writing. You probably will have to revise some stuff. Once you have a bunch of it down, the revision isn't like the hard part. It isn't. You've got like the building blocks all laid out. So I'm just letting you know that's a normal instinct when you finally are like, you know what, I need to write. Oh, wait a minute, maybe I've got a better idea. Or, oh, I really should do my laundry. Whatever. No, just acknowledge. Your brain is going to throw that up as like that you've got a better thing to do. Say no, sit down, just do a bunch of work. Just dedicate a certain chunk of time and get it done. And that's how you'll get your project done. I promise. I promise. Yeah, even if you don't have ADHD, I think that these are normal instincts. But if you can just acknowledge that you have that and just force yourself to put something out, it may not be as good as you hope, but it's definitely not going to be as bad as you fear. And once you have it down, you'll be able to like reshape it if you need to, if you even need to. You really would. You really will. The War of Art. I've never heard of that, but I'm sure that there's a bunch of self-help books to that degree. I'm just saying what I can tell you from experience, because every time I sit down to say make a comic tropes episode, I have to write a script, right? I always feel like tons of roadblocks. Thinking of just, doing a commission, like I have a ton of roadblocks to just getting it down. But now I've got like the bones of this piece down. And whenever I have time, I can like peck away at like the background or the foreground or the shading. Cause I got the big chunk of it down. Anyway, I just wanted to pass that on. I hope something like that helps. And again, thank you everybody for sending in the comics and for being here in the chat room. Very, very cool. I'm going to end the stream now, but I'm going to add some chapters and links to the stuff that's been shared today. So I hope that that helps, and I will see you very soon. I often say, keep reading comics, but I think I'll adjust it for this and say, make some comics. Go make some comics. Take care, everyone.